Let's go live on Instagram. I don't know. It takes a couple clicks on the Instagram for this thing to take over. I don't know why that is. All right. Theme music. Here we go.
Denny Schaefer. He's an idiot.
That remind me of
What?
Carlos Santana.
The music?
Yeah, who is it?
It is a non-copyrighted music, so we can use it. It came from a commercial CD from the radio station, and so you don't have to pay royalties. It reminds me of the what was the okay?
Who is that?
I don't know. I'm thinking of
Can't you?
the most interesting man in the world. That's what it reminds me of, those old commercials of that dude.
Down on the corner. That's what I just was singing.
No, that's not it. I'm trying to help you figure out the name of the song you're thinking of.
Is it Doobie Brothers?
No. CCR sounds like.
Oh.
That's my guess. I don't know. I'm old and I don't remember stuff. All right, let's say hello to our vast audience right now. We are live.
People on their lunch hour.
Yep. Have lunch with the Schaefers. This is podcast number 3, I believe. We did the announcement. Then we did a podcast. This technically would be the third one that we both appeared on.
Yeah.
Um,
You and your brothers were doing
Yeah.
a lively one yesterday.
that was fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that for all the fellas that came over to the house. Matter of fact, Jim Shock left a really nice pullover and a nice jacket, which is now mine because he left it here at the house. So very nice.
Is it a certain team?
No, it's just a really nice, fashionable pullover and jacket. So now it's mine.
Okay.
Anyway, oh, look at that. Speaking of the fellas,
What?
Kiker, Steve Kiker,
Oh, he's already in.
quit your singing. Quit your singing lessons. I see Aaron. I don't know what that means, Steve. Oh, Sharon. Okay. Well, I didn't think I was singing, but maybe I was. All right. So before we get into the meat of what we're going to talk about today, we're going to play an audio clip of a national story that went nuts last Wednesday.
Well, hold on a minute. I thought we were going to talk about our weekend. Did we just do that?
Let me just start exactly what I said.
How does it feel?
Well, no, you interrupted me because you weren't listening.
Yeah, I know. How does it feel?
Well, before we talk about the story that went viral nationally last Wednesday, before we do that, we're going to talk about our weekend, which is what I would have said, but you jumped on me. So go ahead and tell everybody about your weekend with me and how awesome it was and how you treasured every second of it. Go.
Well, let's see. Friday we had date night. That's always fun.
Which is every night when you're empty nesters.
Yeah. But Saturday we got to have dinner with the Morrisons, Tim and Lisa. That's
Yep.
always so much fun. And delicious dinner at the Beirut, one of Toledo's gems.
Yep.
Beirut best, man. That's my go-to.
Oh, chicken shawarma. So good. Their hummus is amazing. Shout out to Labib. And what was our server's name? Was it Georgia or Giorgio or Georgie? I don't know. She was amazing too with a cute haircut because you told her.
Oh, she was adorable.
And anyway, yeah, the food, the atmosphere, the vibe. Love the Beirut. Love the Morrisons too. It was good getting caught up with Tim Morrison.
Lisa, shout out to
And
Lisa, my
Lisa.
girl. She's watching.
Yep.
And then Sunday, one of us didn't make it to church.
I'm not judging you.
And
You're not feeling well.
listen, menopause is real, okay? Sleepless nights, any woman can tell you, is a real thing. So
It is.
anyway,
I mean, it's fine when you don't go to church because I can just drive as fast or as slow as I want, get there when I get there, sit where I want, all of that. So, and I knew you were watching it at home. So, and it was about money.
well, anyways, and then breakfast with the Hermans, Tammy and Chuck, longtime friends.
Yep.
I
good
mean, you've
people.
known them before we were married. You've known Chuck before we were married.
Yes. I met
Yeah.
Chuck in 99 and we got married in 2000.
Okay.
So yeah, and he was part of yesterday's. He was the Steeler fan of yesterday's little football thing, which the first game was horrible. And then the second game didn't really work out as well either because, well, I wanted Buffalo and Washington in the Super Bowl, and so both my teams lost.
No, you really wanted Buffalo and the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Well, of course, but Washington, they have 4 turnovers yesterday? Where was that a week ago? Anyway, but it is what it is, and Kansas City, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fan of either team, but of course we'll be watching because that's what we do. So anyway, anything you wanted to mention about football or the rest of the weekend before I give a...
No, I wasn't sure what the final score was of Kansas City and Buffalo.
Why? Did you have money on the game where you needed to know?
No, I went to bed and watched Suits.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get you the score. It was close. I know that.
Oh, it was?
Oh, yeah. It was 32-29, Kansas City.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buffalo was leading at some point, but,
Okay.
There's something going on with Kansas City. With Buffalo on that 4th down, it was right in the guy's hands, and he missed it, and it's like, what? Oh, look at Rick Keith. 32-29, Denny.
Are you live?
Kevin Schwab from Atlanta.
Yeah. Hey.
What's up? Judy. Nurse Terry.
Judy.
Anyway.
Are you sure you're live on Instagram?
Well, let's take a look. Let's take a peek on the Instagram. It says go live, and I don't know.
Did you were supposed to redo it?
Well,
remember, I just had read that to you before we went live.
And I clicked that. Remember, right at the beginning of the video, and you'll watch this back. I said,
"Oh, there it is."
You got to click it. You got to click
my
on
phone.
it.
Oh my gosh, my phone heard me.
You got to click on it 4 or 5 times. So I probably am now. We are now. It's I don't know why Instagram is sticky. It's a sticky wicket. Anyway, anything else you want to mention about the football playoffs or anything else about our weekend other than I got great sleep last night? It was awesome.
I know. Yeah.
Every night of the week, man, every night's Friday, pretty much. Okay. So Napoleon Ed still is, I'm assuming, a listener of WRQN 530 Club. He used to call up all the time. I had some drops, but Sharon doesn't want me to use them, so I'm not playing them. Anyway, of him, he's Mr. Keep Rockin'. He's very positive. Well, probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, he's a smoker, lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer. And he would call the show and we couldn't even put him on the air because he had no voice. And it was horrible. So he did what you should do is you fight it. You fight cancer. And that's what he did, going through chemo and radiation. And through it all, he never lost his attitude for his love of rock and roll and people and Elvis Presley, because he's a huge Elvis fan. So somebody sent a message to us, says, hey, get an update on Napoleon Ed. So I did. So here's the latest. Hey, Mr. Denny. Just had a recent CT scan, had another treatment, and seen my cancer doc up at Wasion Hospital recently. All is good. Cancer is not spreading. Just I need to do more rocking in Defiance at the Defiance clubs. I'm pretty sure the doctor didn't say, okay, your cancer's in remission. You need to do more rocking. I don't know, but this is his attitude. He said, thanks. How you doing? What station you on? When are your hours? God bless. So he and I went back and forth. Then he said, I told him, I said, praise God and keep rocking is what I told him. And he says, thanks. Got my weight back up. I'm up to 188, which is good for my size at 5'11". All my hair has come back because I lost it due to the treatment. So far, so good. Keep rocking. All right, there you go. There's Napoleon Ed. All right, now, would you like to move on to the meat or topic of today's podcast as we're how many minutes in? Like 10 minutes in. Yeah. Would you like to move forward?
I guess. No time like the present. And I can't read comments over there, so that's going to have to be you.
Okay. Hype Man Chad. Yep.
Oh, Shannon. I think Shannon from California says hi on Instagram.
Anyway, Chad is excited about, Nappy is watching too, about the update from Napoleon Ed. All right. So, my wife is a news junkie. She likes to keep track of everything that's going on in the news. She mentioned earlier, the menopause thing, and she can't sleep sometimes. So she'll get up, she'll go sit out in the living room, and she'll get caught up on different cable channels on what's going on with the news. She's very excited about the election. And she loves to talk politics. Is that fair?
I mean, I do, and I don't, but I think I'm making up for all the lost years that I really didn't give a rip about the news or politics or anything like that.
So all the years I did talk radio, and I'd be all fired up about a story, Sharon would be like, yeah, whatever.
Well,
Because you never followed it like I did, and I'd get all fired up.
Right.
And
And I
now-
never listened to your show.
And now you're part of the show. Can you not listen while we're actually, never mind.
I'm sorry. Were you saying something?
So role reversal. Ever since I stopped doing Mitch album, I'm like, I can't do this anymore, man. It's like sipping poison every day. Politicians are all dirty. Both sides are bad. God rules. Let's just follow that dude and see what happens. Anyway, so I literally walked away from it and have no desire to do News Talk Radio ever again. Now, when I do the new show, which comes up in March 10th on 100.7 The Ticket, grab the app if you haven't yet, because the signal blows. Anyway, there might be times like this where I might even have you on and we can discuss like different political topics and discussions. So with that said, they have a service of prayer for the nation whenever a new president gets sworn in. Okay. It's at the National Cathedral, which is
interfaith,
amazing. Yep. It's interfaith. It's everybody's invited, and it's, when we went to DC, did you go with me when we toured the cathedral, the National Cathedral, where it was held?
I know we went to church service with that.
It was there. That's
Okay,
where
yeah,
we
yeah.
went. What
All
a
I-
beautiful structure.
All I know is that I was pregnant with Olivia at the time, and I didn't know I was pregnant, and I just had to go to the bathroom all the time. That's all I remember. And I remember having to get up out of that service and find the bathroom. That's what I remember. Isn't that funny? Not
Okay.
funny?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was a big moment in our lives when you're carrying Olivia. That was also the Hanging Chad year with George W. Bush
Oh my gosh.
and what's his name?
Gore.
Al Gore.
We turned off the TV and Gore was winning. And then you got up to go do your show. It was you, Trisha and Fred broadcasting live. And Bush
Well,
won.
they
I
said
couldn't
Bush
believe it.
won, but it was the whole Hanging Chad Florida thing and blah, blah, blah. And we didn't know for like, what, couple
See,
days?
What is that? I don't even know what that is. But
I don't
anyway,
know.
let's
Anyway-
not rabbit trail. Okay.
So they've been doing this service of prayer, interfaith service of prayer for the nation since 1933. Like Sharon said, it's an interfaith service. And they do it to be thankful that we live in a free country, a democracy, as they call it, and that's debatable, and to seek God's guidance in the years ahead and to pray for our leaders. That's what's supposed to happen at this interfaith prayer service. And a number of people spoke, and it was Bishop Budde, who, by the way, got her start in Toledo.
Right.
She is now she is now big time when it comes to her national footprint now. I mean, she's gone viral. All right, so let me share the screen here and let me see if I can get this to come up. Why this is not coming up, I don't know. Hold on a second here. Let me drop something down. There it is. Allow, and there we are. So now you can see her. This is her up in the pulpit. So this is during the main homily or message, correct? She
Correct.
was the one who delivered the message. So it was 14 minutes long. I'm obviously, we're not going to play 14 minutes, but we're going to play, I believe it's like 2.5. Here's what she said that got everybody spun up. And I got to hold my mic over here so everybody can hear it. Here we go.
Let me make one final plea. Mr. President, millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
All right, there you go. That is what got people spun up. I believe, oh yeah, let me get rid of that. Matter of fact, and let me, there we go. That's what got everybody spun up. And you want me to give you my opinion of it first, or do you want to, what do you want to do?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when everybody got all spun up, Sharon obviously told me about it because I didn't know what was going on. She goes, oh, you got to see this. The internet's exploding. This Bishop Budde. And then we find out that Budde got her start here in Toledo, which is kind of interesting and a nice story on her. So I watched the entire 14 and a half minutes, her message, her sermon, so to speak, because I just didn't want to watch the clips on the internet because we know you don't get the full story. Okay. Because they can slant them and edit them and, you know, you can't even trust them if it's even AI or not. So I watched the entire thing from NPR. So, and I'm watching it and I'm like, where's the problem? Where's the problem? She talked mainly, most of her 14 and a half minutes or whatever it was about unity, about bringing people together. And then she specifically turned to the president and basically asked him to show mercy on people that are freaking out because he campaigned on, you know, getting rid of everybody and you know, which means breaking up families and all of that. She asked for a plea of mercy on those that are scared. I didn't have a problem with it. I'm glad she didn't apologize because everything she said was biblical about how we're supposed to treat each other. Everything. So I didn't have a problem with it. And I just don't think you got to apologize. As a matter of fact, my friend Pastor Steve actually gave me a good quote because we were talking about it Saturday about apologizing. And here's what he said. And then, you know, I'm interested to hear, you know, what you think on this. Let me hold on. I got so many messages. Let's see. Here we go. He says, hey, our conversation, because we talked about it Saturday morning. We had breakfast about Bishop Budde. I read this quote once. When God's invitation of being merciful is spoken, no matter when or where it's spoken, it never needs an apology. I'm like, yeah, that makes pretty good sense. So I don't know why people are saying that she's nasty and a horrible human being. All she's talking about is compassion and kindness and love and unity. And that's biblical. There you go. Your turn. What would you like to say?
Well, I am a firm believer that there is a time and a place for everything. I am not sure that that was the time nor the place to make a directive like that to the president. As you know, I've done a lot of research on many different avenues of this specific circumstance. I think the message in itself was fine, but I think maybe a better choice would have been to say, could I pray over the president privately? Let's get the vice president and president after or before service. I would love to have a word with them over. She was one of over a dozen preachers, teachers, pastors, bishops to speak at this interfaith.
Yep.
You know, and then she's the one that everyone's hearing about and remembering because obviously she made a directive toward the president. So I know on The View, one of the women asked her, you know, did you think maybe you could have, or was there an opportunity to say this in private? And she said, I've never been asked to speak with the president privately. And of course, they all chuckled at that. But I am a firm believer, like, you're in this high position. Why don't you ask, could I have a moment alone with the president and the vice president and their families to pray for them privately, and then do that? But keep it generic, because I've learned in life, all you can do is ask, because the worst anyone can say is no. But then you know. When I looked up previous interfaith ceremonies, which, by the way, the speaker has always been aligned with the incoming administration. And it was just last year that the church leaders decided they weren't going to do that anymore. So it wasn't kind of like a coordination of the president. It was whoever they assigned to the incoming interfaith service.
So they set him up, basically.
So, hold on. In 2017, when his first inauguration,
Whenever it
2016, right?
Yep. Would have been
That
2017.
cathedral got super heat from having this service there for him.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
anyways, so let me just give a couple different.
She's got show prep, people.
I do.
I have
Let
no
me
show
just
prep.
give.
Here's my show prep. Change the ticker and Napoleon Ed. And then I have a video I want to show at the end we're going to do when we do our podcast. Anyway, go ahead.
So
Give us that
anyways,
show prep,
here's
girl.
one, Pastor Jack Hayford, when President George Bush and Dick Cheney. Grant them patience, understanding, and love as they care for your people, and grant us an equal fidelity and integrity that each of us offers ourselves, our talents, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Pastor Sharon Watkins for Obama. We, the nation that you serve, need you to hold the ground of your deepest values, of our deepest values beyond this moment of high hopes, blah, 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 blah. And she ends it with, someone has to stand watch and be ready to defend. And Mr. President, tag, you're it. That was, in a playful gesture, obviously.
Right.
And then there was another one. Shoot, where is it? Oh, no, I'm getting. Oh, right here. For Biden. Bishop Bill Barber. So gracious and great God, grant us as a people, grant us as an entire nation, grant our new president, grant the new vice president, every preacher, every politician, every person, Black or white, Latino, Native, Asian, blah, 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 person of faith, people not of faith, human beings, documented, undocumented, gay, straight, trans, young, old. See, so I'm just wondering, could it have been presented differently as, may we all instead of pointing out. And if her whole message is about unity, look what it's done since. It's been completely divisive.
Right. Because people don't understand by the word of God what she was saying and doing. The people that went nuts got all crazy and offended. How dare this woman, and obviously she is of, I'm assuming she's a Democrat or whatever, but how dare her call out the president, and single him out listen, as a radio talk show host, if I ever had an opportunity to speak truth to power, which is what she did, she had a golden opportunity, and I applaud her for that. She had a window that no one ever gets. Why wouldn't you? It's a prayer breakfast to pray for our leaders. Why wouldn't you address the most important person in the room, him? And all she did was ask for him to be compassionate and kind and loving. How can you hate that?
You don't think it was premeditated?
Of course it was. I would have done it if you have a chance right in front, you take your shot. I applaud her for that. That took a lot of stones. What did she say that was so horrible? Be kind, be loving, don't create fear in families, show compassion,
show mercy.
That. Show mercy.
How does she know he's not, though? Is she judging?
Because of what he campaigned on. He's going to get rid of all these people.
Let me give you a little bit about her background. Okay. Do you know anything about her background? Do you know she's called him out several times?
I am judging
on her social media. No,
okay.
no, I'm just
no. The answer is no.
Okay.
But here's the thing: I am just taking her words. I am just taking exactly what we saw, and that's all I'm debating.
But that's all people do. I mean, but that's what people are doing, rather than let's go a level deeper.
Why?
Because then it kind of adds. Was this premeditative?
Absolutely.
Was there an agenda, a hidden agenda?
Yes. Be kind to people. Be loving. Be merciful. That's horrible. Why would we want to do that?
Because
that's the goal.
I think she took advantage of that time being there in the pulpit, in front of them, in front of the millions of people knowing. And then, because look at all the media interviews she's done since then.
Right. She's gonna get rich off this if she wants to. I mean,
you and I have been in services where a preacher has used that pulpit to call people out.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
we don't go to that church anymore, though.
But
that was fun for a while.
No, it wasn't fun, because there was one particular Sunday that we thought he was directing it at me because I was not going consistently because of my own reasons. Okay.
Is that when he put the piano bench on his head?
So, okay. Anyway, it was uncomfortable. It was like I walked out of there angry, hurt, angry, disbelief.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people are commenting about how what was some of the words that they used to describe Trump and Vance, of like the fury in their eyes and all that. It's like they were probably completely shocked and surprised, caught off guard, because I know that when we've heard a pastor use the pulpit to make directives to people, we were flabbergasted. We were dumbfounded.
Right.
We were stunned or shocked that
he was calling him out in a judgmental way. She was asking for unity, peace, kindness, compassion.
Okay. Well, the next time we're in an argument, I'm going to smile at you and say the same things. See how it goes over.
I don't get the comparison to that. I just don't see how people can get all spun up because she had the stones to speak truth to power, which is what the Bible tells us to do, which is what Jesus did.
Do it in private. I don't think it was a time or place.
Okay. The next time we're watching The Chosen and he's in the face of the Pharisees, I'm going to remind you that that's Jesus, our boy. And he's not doing it in private. He's calling them out, hypocrites, vipers. I mean, the things that he said to these people, unbelievable. Anyway, getting back to it, I see that she did nothing wrong. Now let's see what everybody says. Steve, that guy Kiker says, I agree with you, Sharon. Speaking out of turn, there's a time and a place. This is neither the time or the place. It was a prayer, so no apologies for Marcia. Lynn, I agree with you, Denny. Kindness we need. Let's see. Kristen.
Oh, wait, right there. Message is great. It's just the timing.
Yep.
He decided to one person. I think that is what people are upset about. I agree.
And you know,
Okay, but hold on.
here-
Don't lose fact that whole prayer service is to pray for our leaders. He's our biggest leader. You pray for him at that ceremony.
But she,
They
I
did
know,
what
but
they were
can
supposed
you? Okay, I'm sorry. To interrupt.
Anyway, let's read it.
No, hold on a minute. She already didn't like him or doesn't support him or agree with him going in. Okay.
She called him horrible names.
No, I'm just saying, I'm asking the question with that in mind. That's why I'm saying, was it premeditated
Yes, it was premeditated. I can guarantee you that. Did she say
to make him look bad? Because look
no?
at
I don't.
Okay.
I
Look
don't
at the
think.
division.
Honestly, what made him look bad is the reaction after. If he would have just come out of that service and went, "Good message, let's get to work," nothing would have came
no,
of this.
I know.
But he got
Yes.
all offended because somebody had the stones to ask him to be loving and kind towards people. Now, if she would have done it like this, if she would have said, "Mr. President, I'm glad that you're here today because I have a message directly for you. I pray, sir," and looking down because she's high up, he's down, so she can come from a position of power and say, "I certainly hope you don't do half the things that you said you were going to do to the illegal immigrants or whatever they're called, the LGBTQ, the transgender community. I hope you don't do any of that to any of those people because some of those people may even have voted for it or whatever." If she would have made it political, then I could agree with that. She didn't. She said, "I'm asking for you, sir, to basically search your heart, to be loving and kind towards people that are freaking out right now, that are afraid that you are going to do what you said you were going to do in the campaign." She never did that. She kept the prayer in the confines of the Bible.
Could she have said, "I will be praying for your administration
to not do what you
and
said?
all of America, that we work in unity and love and compassion and have empathy." I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
now-
I think it's the whole way it happened. It's just, that's my issue with it.
Okay.
You
Well,
know?
the whole 14-minute monologue or 15-minute message, she did talk all about that.
And she should have stopped.
And then she had the opportunity. I applaud her.
Because now she's been on every single news. And
So
like I
what?
said, no, because
You
it's
know why
just all it's doing is creating more division rather than just saying, "You know what, I am not going to go down this path. I am not going to, be talking and defending and all this kind of," because all it does is it spins everybody up even more so. I feel that's just my opinion.
What would have happened?
And hold on, I'm sorry, before I get sidetracked. When Trump came out, one of the first questions was, "How'd you like the service? What'd you think of the service? Did you find it interesting?" What kind of questions?
They baited him.
I know. It's like
And
they
he
were
fell
setting him
for
up.
it.
I know, Mr. Impulsive. Listen, no one understands impulsivity more than me.
Why, are you impulsive?
No.
Who are we speaking of that's impulsive? Someone close to your life? Let me ask you this, two things, and then we're going to get off this thing. We'll go through the rest of these questions, and then I've got a little bit we're going to do at the end of each podcast. It's called reaction video. I play a video and you react to it, and people get to watch your reaction.
Okay, well, a little heads up would have been nice.
No, that's why it's fun. Reaction video. Okay. So anyway, here it is. One, would this thing gone viral and blown up the way it did had President Trump just blew it off and went, "Yeah, nice service. Well, now let's get to work." Question number one.
Yeah.
So who's it on? Is it on her?
Well, no, he did his normal, immature impulse, taken to social media. Yeah, he definitely compounded.
He made the story. He
No.
Here
They
it
were
is.
ready. As soon as they were like, "Look at her. She's our idol. She's our hero. Power to her."
Fine. Let him celebrate. the media held the match and went, Mr. President, what did you think of that? That was really interesting, whatever. And what did he do? He took a giant gallon of gasoline and threw it on that match. Poof. He did it. If he would have taken the high road, which how many times you and I are watching him on debates and you're like, oh, just stop talking. Just stop talking.
Every time.
I just wish he could be the guy in the background making all the right decisions and stop being the guy out front, being the voice and being. How many times have you said
I
that?
know.
And the second thing is, if Franklin Graham would have done the same thing, Mr. President, I implore you to be loving and kind and blah, blah. If he would have gave the same message word for word, if it was Franklin Graham, would we have been here? Would this have blown up? I think President Obama, I think Trump would have sat there and went, I agree. Yes. More kindness,
Well,
more
yeah.
unity. Let's love people. Yes, I agree, Franklin. But because it was a leftist
I understand. Yeah,
woman
no, I know. And you know
who
what?
was
And
a pillar in the,
and they had a busy, long day. And let's face it, they're not youngsters to, I mean, I would have been falling asleep myself. But no, actually in my research, Franklin Graham yesterday, when I saw a quote from him, he actually also said it probably should have been said in private. So he did say that too.
Well,
But listen,
it's a good thing Jesus didn't do stuff in private. I'm so glad he didn't.
When you and I watched the Joe Rogan podcast last week, the little snip of him interviewing Trump, Trump said something like, he's like, I am basically, no, I'm just forgot the, I am in survival mode and I'm trying to run the country. He said that about his last presidency and now this, because everyone is just like constant on him. Just any little thing that do they talk about that he went out to North Carolina and LA and all that? No, because it's all like, now about this whole interfaith ceremony. And I'm not going to die on a hill for him or any other president, to be honest. But when I see people time and time again post about how he hates and divides, their posts about him are nothing but also hate. So it's the same hate that people have for him that they're accusing him of. It's hate is hate is hate. Am I wrong or right?
You're
on
absolutely
that one?
correct. The only difference is people think it's not hate because we're right. My opinion's right. So if I call this guy out, it's not hate because I'm right and he's wrong.
And
Anyway,
I'm not saying that like I said, I'm not saying her message was wrong. I just think that there's a time and a place for everything. And I think the better way to have handled that was either just to leave out the directive toward him and pray in general for everybody, just like the other ones have, knowing that she's already posted about him in 21, 20,
he probably didn't.
24. He probably had no idea really
didn't
who
know
she
she
was, but
existed.
she knows all about him. And I think knowing all of that in the background, I think that is like, it makes you kind of wonder.
I'm going to pull up. It's not going to do any good because we're done with this discussion here. I'm going to pull up some of her old tweets and X and posts and whatever.
Shannon wanted to know, do you think they tell these people what they can or cannot say?
I doubt it. I've spoken at many events, prayer breakfasts, things like that. No one's ever said, don't say, no. They pretty much, because most pastors wouldn't.
Oh, Debbie Turner jumped on late. She wants to know what we're referring to.
Oh my gosh,
Debbie, you'll have to play it back.
Yeah, you got to start over again. Okay, so however, let's see. Should have been a private blessing from Marcia. Kristen, she directed to one person. I think that's what people are upset about. Let's see. The message is wrong, but she has free speech from Packer Chuck. Gary Erzman, agree with Denny. Do understand where Sharon's coming from. Agree a better approach to conveying her prayers could have been considered. Bill, I agree with what you say about Budde Denny. Let's see.
Oh, what did Tommy Atwell say?
Have I
Did you
gotten
just
down there?
scroll? Oh, there he is.
Hold on. I respect the office for the president, and they're elected, and we are the people, so USA needs to be together. That's Lynn. Colleen, agree with Denny. She obviously knows what she's planning on doing. So I'm with Bishop Budde, no matter the timing. Lynn, me too, Denny, Tommy Otwell. I will withhold judgment of her condemnation of Trump. She has a higher power that will judge her. Well, that's a good point. I didn't see her judging him. I saw her making a plea to a man who has more power than anybody in government. I didn't think it was judgment. Anyway, Chuck, great. Get rid of all the Eagles. Dan, what's up, Danny?
Eagles, as in Eagles?
Illegals. I mean,
Oh,
illegals, I meant. Should have done it privately. You're talking about the president. He has no tact, the president. Any more of the, okay, if you follow the line of thought, then we should empty all the prisons. Illegal is illegal. I'm not sure what line of thought he's talking about. No one said anything about getting rid of the rule of law and let people just walk free in our country. Should people be deported and out of the country? Absolutely. Shouldn't have been here in the first place. So yeah, I'm not saying, see, people, the whole point of this conversation was about what she said and was she out of line. Pat says all sermons and services are premeditated. The book of Matthew talks about
Bishop Budde. Debbie. I'm answering Debbie Turner.
Okay, well, you interrupted me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, go
the
ahead.
book of Matthew about addressing issues in private and with others doesn't work. But really, what are the chances that he would have given her a private audience? He wouldn't have.
All she has to do is ask, so where she could
Right.
be told is no. You
Right.
know what? No, we're not. We don't have time for that, or they
Right.
need to get back to the
It's-
White House. But then, but to again, national interview on The View. Well, I've never been given the opportunity or the chance. Well, ask. You're a grown woman.
Hey, Julian. Julian says, hey, Danny, the message should have come from God, and it wasn't. It was from her. Everything she said was biblical, dude. Everything. Jesus himself would have stood there and said the same things. Maybe he would have done it a different way. But if you read The Chosen or your Bible, Jesus was downright mean and nasty, speaking truth to the power of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He didn't do it in private. He called them out. I will spit you out of my mouth.
He also walked on water.
Okay, but did he do that in private? Nope. Garbage Man Rob, greetings, Comrade Schaefer. I completely agree with both of you. Wrong time and place, but nothing was out of line. Is this woman talking about Donald Trump? Yes, he's the president.
What woman? Me?
Buddy,
Oh.
the
She
whole
was-
clip we played
Right. She was right talking.
to him.
She addressed him twice, I believe.
Okay, whatever. I'm Team Sharon on this one, Kristen says. She's the only one who said it, and he responded, Denny, you're being hypocritical. No, I'm not.
Well, I do have a new Jamie on Instagram, she meaning Budde, said in 2020 on camera that she had no interest in talking to Trump while she was raging against him on camera. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted,
She didn't think he'd
because
win.
I try to be fair, I just want what's, I don't know. That's how I was raised, I guess. Just fair. So I wanted to do my homework on her. And so and she has gone after him on her
Okay.
own social media
Has she
several times.
Has she?
So you already knew she did not like him.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying.
She didn't say anything mean and horrible. She didn't call him horrible things. Matter of fact, did you see what he said about her? She's a horrible preacher.
I know.
She's a horrible
Oh
preacher
my
and
gosh,
did a
I know.
horrible job.
I know.
She didn't say he's a horrible president, did a horrible job for 4 years, and now we got to put up with you again for another 4 years. She didn't do any of that.
But
But
can
so
I ask you?
he's not the victim here.
I'm not saying he is the victim.
Well, then we got to stop treating him like a victim. Hike up your big boy pants, take it for what it was, let it roll off your shoulders, and we wouldn't even have this discussion. We would have had a different podcast. Anyway, anything else you want to say on this before I wind it up with a video for you?
I don't know. Do you ever say things on impulse that you wish you hadn't?
Okay.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm ADD.
Is there a possibility he could be with some of the stuff that
not
he
over
just,
and over and over and over again?
Okay. I mean, I know
if
I know
someone is critical of me and my radio show, I am not going to go on the radio show and attack somebody like he attacked her.
I know he does.
She's a horrible preacher.
That's why
she's
I said
not, and she's quite frankly, she's not very good at it.
He needs to be the silent partner.
But that's never going to happen anyway. But yes, I'm ADD and I blurt things out. But a lot of times when I blurt things out, I'm like, "Oh crap! I didn't mean to say that. I apologize. I didn't mean to say that." There's times when you and I have had discussions, and anyway,
you do apologize. Okay, I do have a new name for our country, though.
Okay, what is it?
Double standards of America.
That's definitely true. Hypocrites
Instead
of
of
America.
United States of America, it's double standards of America.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. That's definitely true. Depend on, the narrative. All right. Well,
Okay.
we had some pretty good viewers there going a while. We lost them.
Okay.
All right. Now look away from the screen.
Oh,
I
gosh.
am going to bring something up and I'm going to play it. And then I want you to comment on it. So you can watch it right here.
Is this something you
This
and Rob
is-
came up with?
No, I came up with it and then Rob sent me this video and I thought it was hilarious.
Oh,
All right.
Debbie Turner likes
Here we
the double
go.
standards
I'm going to
of
start
America.
playing this. This is how we're going to end, everyone. It's a
Oh my gosh.
reaction video. Look over to the right of your screen.
This is one for the books. The kids are gonna love this.
Husband and wife, she's putting fart spray in his costume.
Go in the snow.
It's even funnier because it's in the costume. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I can't get out.
get out of the costume.
What did you do? God, shoot. Oh,
There it is.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. I love the part where when he's rolling around and he says right here. Hold on. Wait till he hits the ground. What did you do?
That's funny.
Anyway,
Oh my gosh, listen to her laughing.
so there you
Sometimes
go.
I just laugh at people laughing because it's contagious.
That's how. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have, discussions and topics, and then we're gonna come back and end it with something really stupid and juvenile because that's.
I know, but that's a
what
good practical joke, and there is nothing funnier than practical jokes. You hear me laughing all the time
Oh, I
watching
know.
TikTok. And
I
all
know, and that had to be horrible. Anyway,
that. Anyway, can we continue to get along even though we disagree? Can we disagree to disagree?
well, yeah, because deep down I know I'm right, so I can get on with my day. Can you?
Story of my life.
All right, March 10th.
Double standards of America.
Noon to 3 is hopefully the start date of the Daily Show, 3-hour radio talk show on 100.7 The Ticket. And we'll be talking about who knows what. Sharon may even be joining us for some of that. So keep that in mind. Knee surgery Thursday. I go and I got to do my blood test and pre-stuff this Thursday. And then right now I'm scheduled for February 13th, total knee replacement of the right knee, although it's been feeling better because the weather's warming up, which is nice. Anyway, and that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to mention?
Nope. Shem says hi to his people.
All right. Wednesday will be the next one. Not sure. Do we know what we're talking about?
No.
All All right.
No, but do we want to say we're looking for like any local business that is interested in doing a little advertising? Because we've gotten about what, 4 or 5 interest. So yeah.
Like it says on the ticker there, the crawl, just email any inquiries, Denny@dennyradio.com. All right. See you Wednesday, peeps. Have a blessed day.